Let's talk briefly about the Shiurim, the minimum measures of the mitzvahs of the night of Pesach, in their order as they appear on the Seder night: Yayin, the Arba Kosos, Karpas, Matzah, and Moror. The kos for the Arba Kosos, including the kos for Kiddush, when it's not that we're making Kiddush for Shabbos, it's Yom Tov, so it's only Kiddush Drabanon. 3.3 fluid ounces according to Reb Moshe Feinstein. It's important not to use a kos that's too big, because we should be drinking each full kos 4 times. B'diavad, rov kos, most of the kos, each of the 4 kosas. So if we have a kos that's 6 ounces, that's a lot of wine. We might want to be using a kos, for example, this is more than 3.3, it's a little bit more than 4 ounces. This would be a very good kos for Arba Kosos. We should use wine and not grape juice unless medically indicated, and if we can mix wine and grape juice if we're going to get a headache. Others feel that they can't take in all that much wine and they're going to just fall asleep for the Seder, so then we should dilute the wine with a bit of grape juice. Karpas, interestingly, is to be taken with less than a shear. Karpas is celery or green vegetable like perhaps parsley. And in Europe, if they didn't have that, they used a potato. Some therefore continue that tradition. It should be less than a kazayas, because that way we don't have to make a bracha achrona after karpas. The reason that we're not sure to make a bracha achrona or not is because it is, after all, going to lead ultimately into the meal. So to obviate the question, we take ourselves out or extricate ourselves of this shaila by eating less than a kazayas. However, we should have in mind, when we make the Borei Pri Ha'adam on the Karpas, that Borei Pri Ha'adam is also on the Moror. That way we don't make a special separate bracha of Borei Pri Ha'adam on the Moror, because that too is a question. Is it part of the meal since we've already washed, or since it's really not part of the meal typically, we should be making a Borei Pri Ha'adam. What we do therefore is have the Moror in mind when we make a Borei Pri Ha'adam on Karpas. Karpas, of course, reminds us of the salty tears of Bnei Yisrael. That's a more recent explanation. As the Mishnah says, it's really just to cause us to ask and cause children to ask, Ma nishtanu halayla hazeh. Matzah, the shear of matzah is a kazayas. The person who leads the Seder should have a kazayas of the top matzah and of the broken middle matzah. Everyone else would have a kazayas matzah, and a kazayas is about 1 1/4, 1 1/3 of a machine-made square matzah, and about 3/4 of a handmade round matzah. The person leading the Seder would take a larger amount to be sure to be yatzah, at least midrabanan, 2 kazayis. 2 kazayis midrabanan would be, if we take the smaller shear, would be about 1 full hand matzah plus. Maybe a matzah and 1/4. Maror is fulfilled typically with either horseradish or lettuce. So horseradish is to be pressed into an amount that would fit into about 1 ounce or 1.1 fluid ounce shot glass. So a little bit more than 1 ounce of maror. And we don't have to go to the larger shear of maror, because maror b'zman hazeh is only midrabanan, as it is being eaten without the korban Pesach. In the case of romaine lettuce, it should be approximately an 8 by 10 inch amount. If you open up the leaves and spread them out, it should be approximately 8 by 10 inches, and then that's dipped in the charoses, and mitzvahs maror is fulfilled. Again, for korech, because korech is midrabanan, we do not have to have the larger shear of matzah. A half or a little less than a half of a handmade matzah would suffice. 3/4 of a machine-made square matzah would certainly suffice, and that is again made with a sandwich of about approximately 8 by 10 inches of maror in the sandwich, and we are Makayim mitzvahs maror, surrounded by mitzvahs korech of maror in a sandwich with matzah.